I mean, what do you do when it feels like technology is out to get you for the day? You come and sit on the floor in the hallway and hope it goes better. So welcome back to the channel. I have officially declared March Monster March. So that is what we will be reading for the majority of March. And what I thought I would do just to really destroy my soul is read some one-star GoodReads of my favourite monster books that I've read so far. The first one we've got then is Halfling, which is a big favourite of a lot of people. Let's go see what one-star GoodReads has got to say about Halfling, shall we? On GoodReads, Halfling has a 3.97 overall rating with 772 reviews. Before we get into the reviews, I will give you the blurb. So in case you haven't read it, and you may want to, you can actually get a feel for what it is. A half-orc, half-human belongs nowhere. Oric has spent his life trying to prove himself to a clan that despises him. The son of a deposed orc chief and human captive, he must try twice as hard to prove himself a worthy male, a strong hunter, a potential mate. Resigned to a thankless place in the shadows, Oric ekes out a living on the fringes of the clan, just waiting for an opportunity. But what he finds instead one cold autumn night could ruin everything he so worked hard to gain. A human woman, captured just as his mother was so many years ago. The choice to protect her from the clan isn't a choice at all, but what will protect him and his lonely heart from her. A life about to begin, usurped by fate, xoxo has spent her life helping raise her many siblings, but now finally has the chance to seek her own adventures. At least she did, before she was snatched from her horse and peddled by slavers. Taken far from home, she's brought to the worst place imaginable. The craggy western mountains infested with brutal, brutish orcs. All humans know to fear them and stay away, and now she's been sold to the cruelest clan chief of them all. But the first orc she meets is nothing like the stories. He's gentle, he frees her. Nothing is what it seems as they lose themselves in the forest, hunted by trackers and slavers. Out of her depth, xoxo has no choice but to rely on the mysterious halfling who saved her. But she's been betrayed already and cannot afford to trust him, even if little by little the quiet male reveals himself to be everything she could ever want. A human and a halfling, lives ripped apart, brought together by coincidence or fate. Running for their lives, they may find the most dangerous places together. All right, let's have a look at these reviews. So there are 48 one-star reviews. Show me the one stars. The top comment literally just says, Quim. I get it, because that really upset me as well when I read the book. So that would do it. Okay. The next one, all right, is how it's titled. It was all right. I just kind of went on and on and on. I feel like she meant to say it there. And I'm sorry, but when you write a review and it's a bad review, check your spelling and punctuation, because it kind of invalidates what you're trying to say. It could have been probably about half the length. It just really felt like it went on forever. After about the 14th chapter, is really pushing to finish it. Like, none of that was an easy read in the review. I'm sorry, no. Next one, I hate it when the dude POV is all about OMG, she's so hot, like boobs and butt. And then just a lot of characters. I don't know if I'm not cool enough to understand what that's shorthand for, but editing me needs to Google this. Why do I need to read that? Give the main dude an actual personality, please. I didn't like either of them. Like, she was kind of a bitch, my way or the highway type, and he's a bit of a perv with no personality. I made it 80% before I decided to do not finish this book. I don't know what happened. I loved the beginning of the book and I enjoyed the middle, but the last part, I just lost interest. It just seemed to be blah, blah, blah about nothing. Actually, I feel like the book could have ended at the middle and had a nice epilogue. It seems like a lot of people are struggling with the length. How many pages was it? 465 pages. That is quite a long book though for Kindle. You'll find, like, a lot of the books are only a couple of hundred pages, so 465 is quite a lengthy book, I guess. So let's go to the next one then, which is A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain. So this one on GoodReads has a 4.09 overall rating. I just thought I'd have a quick look at the pages since the biggest complaint on Halfling was the length. And this was 544, so this one's a bit longer. Okay, it's got 8,000 reviews. That's a lot of reviews. Let's read the blurb. I am going to pronounce her name wrong every time. I call her Rhea. Tell me if that's right or not. I call her Rhea, so that's what she's getting called. All Rhea ever wanted was freedom. Known as a harbinger of bad omens and blamed for demons eating her family, Rhea is shunned by her entire village. When the next offering is due and the monstrous Duskwalker is seen heading their way, her village offers her an impossible choice: be thrown into the prison cells or allow herself to be sacrificed to a faceless monster. However, he is not what he seems. Are they ever? His skull face and glow eyes are ethereal. I can't say that word. I apologise. I'm like a dunce. Ethereal? And she finds herself unwittingly enchanted by him. All Orpheus ever wanted was a companion. Each decade, in exchange for a protection ward from the demons that terrorise the world, Orpheus takes a human offering to the Vale, the place he lives and the home of the demons. Brief companionship does little to ease his loneliness, and their lives were always unfortunately cut short. He thought it was a hopeless endeavour until he met her. She's not afraid of him, and his insatiable desire deepens within each moment of her presence. But will Orpheus be able to convince Rhea to stay before she's lost to him forever? You feel sorry for Orpheus. I'm sorry, but you feel sorry for him. He's quite sad. Although, like, it gets a bit, It's always like the volunteers aren't really volunteers. Okay, 1-star review. We have got 1,096 1-star reviews. It's about 1%, because bear in mind there's a lot of reviews. Some of these are kind of long, so I'm skipping the longer ones because, we don't have time for that. First one then. The prose is so utterly god-awful that I dropped it after half a chapter. Imagine writing the sentence, "They came in many sizes, which informed their prey if the monster in front of them would guarantee their death or not," and thinking it's anything but excruciatingly mechanical. I don't care how sexy the monster is. I'm not wasting my time on Wattpad quality writing. I missed the Wattpad years. I never knew what Wattpad was or is, so whenever people criticise things for being Wattpad, I'm like, I don't know what that is. I'm not down with the kids. Next one then. Truthfully, I ended up skimming through most of it. Absolutely did not need to be 500 plus pages long. Felt like an unedited first draft. This shit was word salad, mama. The writing style was also very goofy. The beginning set this up to be a serious, fantastical fable, but then you have the main character using silly modern vernacular at totally inappropriate times. And the exclamation points in the third person narration felt very Wattpad. See, another Wattpad reference, and I don't know the reference. Somebody fill me in. Joke's on me though, because author Opal Rain self-identifies as a huge anime and manga fan and credits Ancient Maker's Bride and Demon Slayer as inspiration for this, which she outright uses the term Demon Slayer as an occupation in this world. Should have seen that coming. Honk honk honking all the way to stupid jail for me. Clown emoji. I can't believe I just read honk honk honking out loud. Oh, I just sorry if anybody feels seasick, I just moved the camera. It's entitled Ah ha 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 ha, the stupidest shit ever, all in capital letters. Would be 2 to 2.5 star read, if not a ridiculous and misogynistic plotline at the very end. Even thought that this book is cute, well at least till 35% when it became super horny and cringy. Long tongue is a better feature than tentacles, to be honest. That was a left turn. You can't moan about it being super horny and cringy and then talk about how a long tongue's better than tentacles. I just, it feels very contradictory. Things I enjoyed reading more than this book: the back of a shampoo bottle, wet floor sign, Apple terms and conditions, IKEA furniture instructions. Do I need to continue? That's so much. All right. Next book then, I guess. Oh, okay. So the next on the list then is Breathless by Kat Wynne. So a lot of if you're a Reddit reader, you'll have seen this pop up probably on ads quite a lot because it looks like she paid for Reddit ads, and there's probably there's quite a few hundred comments on there saying, oh, well done. I read this book and I hated my life. I hated it. I hated this book. I'm so sorry. It's like a massive achievement to write a book. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on the fact that they sat down and wrote this book. But I read this book. My husband came home and I went, I think I've just read the worst book of my life ever. There was a lot of different plots that you could see where she was going with it. You could see where the author was going with it all, but it felt like too much. And it was a really interesting premise. And then it just took like a weird, it took a left turn, but you could see it coming because it had already been set up, but it had been set up really weirdly. And I just hated it. I hated every second of it. I really, really hated it. I'm sorry. But it's got 3.49 stars on GoodReads. Like, what the hell? 280 pages. You can get it on Kindle. So, the blurb. The blurb sounds interesting. Former model and current recluse Jules Lowe would prefer to spend the rest of her life locked inside her apartment, doing nothing more than fixating on her empty fish tank and chatting away on a local aquarium forum. But when her online crush sends her an inadvertently suspicious picture, Jules' curiosity gets the best of her. Who or what is Mac Vassar? Even Jules' fear of the outside world can't stop her from exploring further, and while venturing out to track down Mac is scary enough, discovering he's part fish, part man is a shock of a lifetime. Even more shocking is Jules' confusing attraction to him, which has her leaving her apartment again and again. Unfortunately for Jules, she isn't the only person who's aware that creatures like Mac exist, and now she's gotten herself involved, she's risking not only her feelings, but both their safety, in a world where nobody seems to know who the real monsters are. Okay. So it's had 355 reviews, and 108 of them are 1 star, so 7% is 1 star. There's fun monster romance. And then there's this, LMAO. A classic case of should have do not finished, but didn't. To me, this reads like it's written by AI, highly don't recommend. The next one. 1 star, her lack of accepting his no is off-putting, and upon further reflection, I think it's not for me. One just says definitely was a do not finish for me. The next one. What did I just read? Holy crud, hot mess, also triggers for unaliving, not worth the time on it, not sure why it got good reviews. Sigh. I was really hoping this would be good. As always, peace, love, and piracy. It's on Kindle Unlimited, you're fine. From 4 stars to nada. Did not finish after 50%. The book is nothing like the cover. It's more cutesy and silly. The FMC ruins the story though. Begging for sex when he says no? Really? And constantly pressuring and pushing him. She acts like a horny teenage boy that can't take no for an answer. It went from cutesy to creepy real fast. I gave it a 3 on the spice and a 1 and a hell no on would I recommend it. So sorry, Kat. I'm sure you're a lovely person. This one I just wasn't there for it. Alright, so I've got the Monsters of Fairy series now, and I'm not going to read any 1 stars for the first one because the first one's the best one out of the lot and you can all fuck off. Do you know what? I actually want to read the 1 star reviews of Caught in the Basilisk Gaze because on Reddit, everybody screams about it and I read it and I was really fucking angry afterwards. I hated him. I hated the main male character. I was like, fuck you, you should leave him. Why the fuck are you staying? And then, don't get me on my rant about this. And then the one person I did like in the whole of the fucking book, Cass, and I was very excited to find that there was a follow-up book coming about Cass, got done dirty in Crowned by the Fae Crowned by the Fae King. I just feel like she fucking did Cass dirty. I would have loved it if Danica had gone fuck off and just gone off with Cass. Because he was a dick. He was just an absolute dick. And it's one that everybody recommends. I think it's because of the smut rating and the guy's got 2 dicks. But no. When he got that procedure to take away his sense of smell, I was fucking livid and I wish I'd not finished it because as you can tell, it still makes me angry to this day. So, Caught in the Basilisk Gaze. Let's fucking go. I didn't like the second one either, sorry. I found the second guy, I can't even fucking remember his name. I hated him. I found him so irritating. So, now I've stopped ranting. This is number 4 in the Monster of Fairy series. I think there's one more coming which will tie up that overarching plot line that's going through it all. So this is Caught in the Basilisk Gaze. It's got 4.19 stars on GoodReads. It's got 128 reviews. It's 461 pages, so it's not quite a long one. There's 19 one-star reviews. Well, you are all wrong. I don't know if I can tell you that now. The first one is, I feel like I read someone's self-insert fan fiction with names changed. The next one is a 0-star read. Too much mention of past lovers, hated it. MMC literally slept around with everyone and everything, and I was reminded about it throughout the book, and also had a soulmate before the female character, a big no for me. In this world, I quite liked that fated mates was something different. So like your soulmate could be like your best friend, which is what this previous one was in this. It could be your best friend, it could be a rival, it could be an enemy, it could just be different tiers of love, which I really enjoyed. But I agree, it really fucked me off because he was a massive man whore and it was constantly thrown in her face. The plot, the premise is, because he's got the basilisk eyes, if he looks at someone that he's not had sex with, then they turn to stone. So of course he's in the army, so he's fucked everybody. And I'm just like, that poor fucking girl, right? No, not a fan. And he's such a dick. He's such a dick. I don't get it. The next one's just did not finish. And then the next one after that is did not finish, just couldn't do it. Nothing charming about Danica or Vordin. Vordin, whatever. I wasn't. I'm done with that one. Looking at my list, I then went on Ice Planet Barbarians binge. And I literally just sat and read Ice Planet Barbarians. I think it took me a week to get through like 16 books. And we've got Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Now, that would be an interesting one to read the 1 stars. Bride is one that always gets suggested by everybody as like the big monster one to read. So it's got a 4, bang on 4 rating. 410 pages. It's got 88,000 reviews. So as you can see, like, it's a popular book. So let's read the blurb. A dangerous alliance between a vampire bride and an alpha werewolf becomes a love deep enough to sink your teeth into in this new paranormal romance. Misery Lark, the only daughter of the most powerful vampire councilman of the Southwest, is an outcast again. Her days of living in anonymity among the humans are over. She's been called upon to uphold a historic peacekeeping alliance between the vampires and their mortal enemies, the Wares, and she sees little choice but to surrender herself in exchange again. Wares are ruthless and unpredictable, and their alpha, Lo Morland, is no exception. He rules his pack with absolute authority and not without justice, and unlike the Vampire Council, not without feeling. It's clear from the way he tracks Misery's every moment that he doesn't trust her. If only he knew how right he was, because Misery has her own reasons to agree to this marriage of convenience, reasons that have nothing to do with politics or alliances, and everything to do with the only thing she's ever cared about. And she is willing to do whatever it takes to get what's hers, even if it means a life alone in Were territory, alone. So we've got 6,429 one-star reviews. It's got a pun. Yeah, this did not, with a K, serve the miseries of being a hate reader, pun intended. I mean, I'm really happy that many of my friends have enjoyed this, but I don't know what the fuck that was supposed to be. DNF at 58%. These characters read like dumb, young adult, teen contemporary characters. I don't like Ali Hazelwood's writing at all, and that's it. I'm done. It's also got a gif saying hated it. No thank you. I'm going to pretend this does not exist. Oh, that's a really long one, so no. The misery I could not help but feel while reading this book. DNF. The next one says, okay, I am saying this. Why was this cover okay? I thought it was for the drafts, with like a screaming emoji. The entire book screams lazy and way too familiar. Take what we have to from this. Good for the rest of the world if they like this book. So for the rest of the month, I'm probably going to do some reviews. I've just finished The Half-Orcs Maiden Bride by Ruby Dixon, so I'm in the middle of writing the script for that. I've got Morning Glory Milking Farm to review. I have read that a while back, but I've been rereading it. And then we've got Lillian Lark, which I've never read any of her books to go. And we've got The Lady of Rooksgrave's Manor, which is always mentioned. So that one could be interesting too. So I will see you next week for a book review on The Half-Orcs Maiden's Bride. There was a lot of S's in that, I'm sorry. Goodbye.